to the term senior citizen becomes too easily senior citizen. And don't worry, despite what Jeff said, I shall not speak for long. But thank you. Thank you, Attorney General Leonard. I appreciate that. And it is an incredible honor to be the keynote speaker for Brandon as he receives this swearing-in ceremony. And I want to take a moment just to acknowledge all of the law enforcement officers, prosecutors, attorneys, and other civil servants. You do a crucial but oftentimes thankless job, receiving little or no fanfare. You dedicate your lives to improving our state and improving our country, and on behalf of us all, I thank you. Now, let me take you behind the scenes as to how someone is nominated for a position such as this. Because sometimes there is the perception that politics dominate. That is not the case. Many of you know I'm a physician, and physicians have many strengths, but one of them is not that I am particularly familiar with that which would make a good U.S. attorney. So the process that I used was to form a committee, not just Middle District, but each of the districts across the state. And those women and men of all backgrounds, of all political persuasions, are the ones that review the applicants. At times, they will go out and solicit that someone applies. I think Dallin Bush is here. Dallin tells me that he knows you, Brandon, and he was the one that suggested that you serve, that you apply. And thank him for that. He's on the committee. Now, with that process, the committee receives applications. They then interview, and only after they select, la creme de la creme, if you will, only after they select the best of all these best, do they send it to me. And then that's when I interview as well. Typically, I send several up to the president's assistant for the president's assistant to review. And after that, whoever is chosen receives a questionnaire from the committee. The committee, the Judiciary Committee, then has to sign off, and it then goes before the entire Senate. Now, I'm not saying in some areas politics don't play a role, but in this position, that was not the case. In this position, it was merit. It was merit of someone who was chosen to live his life for others. Now, we saw the Marines come in, look so handsome. Brandon, I won't say that you're still as handsome as those Marines, but you're probably not that. And so both as throughout your career, you have chosen to serve others. And by the way, there were 3 people who were up at the end for this position, and Brandon was obviously selected. And one of them calls me up and said, you know, you didn't pick me, but the guy you picked is really good. He's really good. I felt so positive about our process because, again, we have somebody who is serving both our state and our country. Now, let me tell you why Brandon was selected. Many of you know this, but just to put it on the record. He earned his bachelor's degree in criminal justice with honors from Southeastern Indiana, then worked in the East Baton Rouge Parish District Attorney's Office as a criminal investigator before going to LSU's Paul M. Hebert Law Center to earn his law degree. Once finished, went back to the EBRDA's office and served as a criminal prosecutor. He later accepted an appointment as an assistant U.S. attorney for the Middle District of Louisiana. In 2013, returning to the DA's office in East Baton Rouge Parish as a section chief while maintaining the designation as a special assistant U.S. attorney for the Middle District. In January 2016, selected by the Louisiana Attorney General to serve as the director of the criminal division in the Louisiana Department of Justice. That was important to me. I was looking for someone who had managerial experience because I found that if somebody is managed and someone beneath that person is unhappy with them, somehow that gets to my ears. In Brandon, I never heard that. All I heard was somebody who managed well, and that is incredibly important. All this experience means that Brandon has served with some of the state's most violent offenders, prosecuting federal drug trafficking crimes, violations of federal immigration law, fighting public corruption, Medicaid fraud, elder abuse, property crimes, among many others. Thousands of hours of courtroom experience handling all types of state and federal cases. And as I mentioned earlier, He's also served our country in the military, enlisting in the Marine Corps in 1994, serving for 8 years, achieving the rank of platoon sergeant in a heavy machine gun platoon. By the way, I noticed that every one of the folks carrying flags or otherwise in that were all sergeants, so I don't know if that was delivered or not, but again, to kind of remind us of that. And then lastly, let's mention, or not lastly, his family. Behind every great man is a greater woman, so it's said. My wife says that all the time. Not that I'm great, but that she is greater. In Brandon's case, he has four women keeping him straight. His wife Rebecca and 3 daughters, Camille, Ava, and Georgia, here who are supporting him today. And even though he has a demanding career, he still finds time to coach basketball. One thing that struck me, as I mentioned earlier when I spoke to Brandon, was the team approach he talked about. He understands that a U.S. attorney is surrounded by a lot of very smart people and a lot of legal talent. And part of his job is to help them harness their skills to succeed as a team. The U.S. attorney is not an easy job, and I think Brandon's team-oriented approach is the only way to proceed, because that's how you get the best out of some really great people. And we've already seen some of that already occur. Brandon's been on the job since February, and I know these investigations go on for some time, but we've already had the largest drug indictment in the history of the Middle District of Louisiana, judged by the number of defendants charged, working with a large team of those from the DEA, ATF, East Baton Rouge Parish Sheriff and Police Department, the Louisiana State Police, the U.S. Marshal's Office, as well as law enforcement from Iberville, Livingston, West Baton Rouge, and Ascension Parish, and they got it done. The indictment, an important dent in the opioid epidemic. The opioid epidemic, which is something which has affected all of us in this room, as we've lost loved ones to death, or sometimes to just disability resulting from addiction. It's something that I am very focused on in my legislative work, and look forward to working with you as you, in your current capacity, as that what we can do to just dry up the scourge. And there's many aspects to that. There's not only the pusher, there's also the drug cartels that are laundering the money. There are also the folks that enable others to become addicted. So again, I look forward to you working with you to do that. Brandon, thank you for your service to Louisiana and to our country. Jeff Sessions, who is the Attorney General for the United States, said that the greatest privilege of his life was as a U.S. attorney to walk into a courthouse and say, I am here to represent the United States of America. There's 2 parts to that. 1, the privilege he felt, but 2, the trust we have. The trust we have in that person who represents us all. So Brandon, we wish you the best in this role. We look forward to partnering with you in any way. Thank you for taking this job on. Thank you to his family. We feel great because you are the role you are in. And I'm honored to be with you today. Again, thank you.